everybody. Welcome to our special interview about this exciting gemstone tour to Sri Lanka. I'm thrilled to be joined today by Udara, our expert partner based in Sri Lanka, who'll be sharing his insights about the rich history, unique attractions, and unforgettable experiences that await you on this tour. Whether you're a seasoned gem enthusiast or simply curious about the world of gemstones, we promise you'll find something inspiring and educational in our conversation today. So let's dive in. Udara,
Hello.
can you tell us a little bit about the rich history of gem mining in Sri Lanka, please?
Of course, Sri Lanka has a vast history in gem mining and gem trading. Once Sri Lanka was called Ratna Deepa. Ratna means gems, Deepa means island, which means like gem island. Even at that time, Sri Lanka was recognized as an island famous for gems. Not just the name. Like if we check the records of some ancient travelers like Pliny, he was a famous Roman naturalist, and again Ptolemy, he's an Egyptian mathematician. Ibn Battuta, he was a famous Moroccan traveler. There was another famous Chinese Buddhist monk called Fahian. Not just even Marco Polo, in their records, in their journals, they mentioned about the beauty of Sri Lanka as well as the beauty of Sri Lankan gems, sapphires, rubies, you name it, everything. So everywhere in the history, there are ample evidence about the history of gem mining in Sri Lanka. Not just with these travelers. If we check the books such as Vanshaya, it's a Sri Lankan book about Sri Lanka, Sri Lankan rulers, kings. In that book, it explains about Sri Lankan economy, how this gem industry, the benefit Sri Lankan economy got through this gem trading. It clearly explained about the history of Sri Lankan gem industry in that Mahavansha book. Not just books written in Sri Lanka. If we check books like Ramayana, which is a book written in India, in that book itself, they speak about the beauty of Sri Lankan palaces, Sri Lankan the jewelries, gems that they saw in those palaces. Historian says the Ramayana book is about an incident that took place over 15,000 years ago, right? Even at that time, Sri Lanka has had a rich history when it's come to gem mining and gem trading. We had skillful craftsmen who know how to do gem mining. We had jewelry makers who know how to do nice jewelry. Even like 15,000 years ago, we had that rich history. Not just stories, books, like we have physical evidence as well. When Sri Lankan archaeologists do mining excavations, they found a lot of ancient artifacts, especially in like cities like ancient cities like Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa. They found a lot of like beads made out of sapphires and different other semi-precious stones. Especially there are burial sites like Belambedi Palace and Pomparipur. In those type of burial grounds, you will find a lot of gems and jewelries. And again, in Sri Lanka, there was a tribe called Mukuru, ancient tribes who were specialized in gem mining. We find a lot of graves belongs to those type of Mukuru in those in those burial grounds. Also, we found a lot of gems and artifacts made out of gems. So again, if Sri Lanka was part of the Silk Route, and Sri Lanka was part of this ancient trading route. So if when our archaeologists do excavations near ancient harbors, they found a lot of gems and things made out of gems. So likewise, There are a lot of stories. There's a huge, rich history when it's come to gem trading and gem mining in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, it sounds super interesting. So, what makes gemstones of Sri Lanka unique compared to other regions in the world?
Yeah, I can proudly say Sri Lanka does only ethical mining, right? When it's come to gem mining, there's no child labor, there's no forced labor that who do mining at gunpoint. So everything that I can honestly say, I can give assurance that in Sri Lanka we practice only ethical mining. More, if you want to operate a gem mine in Sri Lanka, it's a must. You need to have a government license from the government. Most of the gem mines in Sri Lanka has a government license, so they regulate this gem mining practices. They say regulate this gem like not just labor practices. They check, they regulate to avoid any unnecessary impact on the nature. So you the participants or the gem traders who buy gems from Sri Lanka, they can proudly sell. uh, they don't, there's no blood gems, no bloods in our gems. So it is one of the most important things when it's come to luxury products, because modern day luxury high-end consumers, they really concern whether these are ethically mined. So
Right.
in that case, I can proudly say Sri Lanka stand out from the rest. uh, yeah, the ethically mine is from my ranking, I give the highest rank when it's come to ethical mining. Again, we have very beautiful clarity wise. We have our gems sapphires has a very good clarity. Color wise, our gems are really vibrant. So those are the
Okay.
areas we stand out from the rest.
Thank you. Well, you mentioned sapphires, but what other kinds of gemstones can participants coming on the gemstone tour with us, what can they expect to see and learn during the actual tour?
Sapphires, yes, of course, when we call sapphires, most of the people like blue sapphires comes to their mind. Other than blue sapphires, there are different types of sapphires like yellow sapphire, white sapphire, and pink sapphire. You know the red sapphire we call ruby, and we have Padma Raga. It's one of the unique gemstone. It's Padma Raga means the color. Raga means color. Padma means lotus, which that stone has the color of lotus. And we have different varieties of garnets, topaz. Different colors, quartz, moonstone, alexandrite, which is quite rare. Zircons, tourmaline, different colors of spinners. We have a lot of gemstone you will be able to buy in Sri Lanka. Not just stones that originate from Sri Lanka. When you are traveling in Sri Lanka, you get to buy African stones as well, because Sri Lankan miners, Sri Lankan traders have a lot of mines in Africa as well, like countries like Madagascar, Tanzania, Kenya, Mozambique. In those countries, Sri Lankan gem traders has their they have their operations, their mines in these countries. So they buy gems, they have mines, they buy gems, they bring it here. They do value editing additions like heating, cutting, and they sell in Sri Lanka as well. So when you come to Sri Lanka, it's like a one-stop shop. You can buy all the gems what
Okay.
you find not just in Sri Lanka, so let's say in Africa.
Okay. I've not particularly noticed that. I bought a beautiful Alexandrite when I was there, and I bought a blue moonstone from the mine in Meteogoda.
Meteor,
But
yeah, it's close to my
yeah,
house.
but I didn't notice the African gemstones there. So,
African gemstones mainly available. There are two markets quite famous for African gemstones. There's a market called Gintota market, and even Berwala market. You will find African gemstones, but the most famous market for African gemstone is the Gintota market.
okay. So, looking at our itinerary, what are going to be some of the highlights that participants can look forward to during the gemstone tour?
Course, when it's come to this gem expedition, some people call gem mining expedition. Going inside the gem mine is the, even for me, it's one of the most exciting things. So you do not just go there to observe the process outside. You get a chance to go inside the gem mines, inside those dark gem shops. You get to work like hand in hand with these gem miners, how they unearth this gem bearing gravel, how they take it back to the washing area. So it's you will see how they gamble their life to earn their living by unearthing these precious stones. Once you know this the story behind these sparkling gemstones, you will start truly appreciating these gems. These gems are not valuable not because of this color and the beauty, because of that the effort people put to unearth and process these things. So it is, for me, hands down, it is one of the most unique things you get to experience during this tour. It's like, and again, another experience, I'm pretty sure all the Western gemologists, gem traders like, is to go to gem markets. All this bargaining, haggling, it's quite a unique experience for a Western gem buyer, because for some people you will find it a little bit overwhelming as well, because
Right.
it's a different culture, different setup. Hundreds of gem sellers are trying to give gems to you because they are not sometimes good fluent in English. So negotiating, it's give you a bit of a adrenaline rush once you get used to it, you will come back for more. Don't
Yeah.
worry, although it's a little bit overwhelming for you, we will always be there behind you to facilitate all these things. For negotiation, translation,
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
we will be there. And again, this tour is not just about buying gems or going to gem mines. This uh, in this tour, you get to experience Sri Lankan culture, Sri Lankan wildlife. One day you will have a tea with a gem miner in a rural jungle hut near a gem mine. Next day you will get a chance to do a fine dining experience and at a very high end top notch restaurant in the capital city of Sri Lanka. One moment you will, let's say, you get to swim with the turtles. It's one of the very unique experience. One moment you will do wildlife safari to see giant elephants by a jeep, and the next day you get a chance to do a river safari by a boat to see giant crocodiles. So likewise, this tour is full of prizes and surprises. And again, you if we talk about the spiritual side of this tour, you get to go to Buddhist monasteries to see how Buddhism has influenced this whole culture. Likewise, this tour is full of excitement, adventures. I'm pretty sure everyone who come to this tour will come back for more.
Right. Okay. I mean, it sounds amazing. It really does. But just I'm looking forward to the I'm thinking about the mines. Okay, that's what I'm looking forward to. For me, that's the big
Yeah.
highlight. And so I'm just how do you select the mines? And I know that you've organized a few workshops as well. But how have you selected them so that we can ensure, an authentic experience for our participants?
Yeah, when it's come to mine selection, we always give priority. We make sure that those mines are operational and like we do not because and properly maintained. So to ensure the safety, and we don't go into very far jungle areas, because we need to find a mine that is close to the road, not because sometimes some elderly participants or little bit overweight participants find it little bit difficult to, if they have to hike in very uneven terrain. So those are the factors that we take into account. So when it's come to like this mining, the rainfall. Rain has a huge impact on mining operations. So if it is raining during the mining site visit on that day or previous day, usually that miners do not operate their mines during rainy time. So we always have backup options. If we can't go to this mine, we have local fixes. We go to another mine like within the given radius. So likewise, we always have one or two backup options because we are at the mercy of Mother Nature. Still, if it is raining or flooding in the whole area, we might not be able to go inside the gem mines because your safety is our priority. But don't worry, January to March is quite a dry
Okay.
season in Sri Lanka. So usually, I'm doing this gem visits for several years. We don't have any bad experience. Everyone was able to go inside the mines and enjoy their
That's
visits. So
that's
we
good to
always have
know.
a couple of options: plan A, plan B. We have local fixers. So likewise, we will ensure that you will get the best experience when it's come to gem mining visits.
Thank you. So fingers crossed that the weather is kind to us. What
Yes.
kind of hands-on experience can participants expect during the tour?
Yeah, actually, this tour is mainly for like those who have at least a little bit of experience in. I believe not like not for a newbie who doesn't have any background information. I expect most of the participants has some kind of exposure experience in the field of gemology. So I'm not going to explain all the theoretical things. There are a couple of experience sharing sessions to share what are the negotiation techniques, some field gemology techniques that we can use to identify a heat stone or synthetic stone without any tools. Those type of trade secrets I like to share. So because in the mining areas you don't get to apply gem certificates from gem labs. So those type of experience share, there are one or two experience sharing sessions are there. Other than that, everything you get to experience on your own, from going inside the gem mine, a collection of gem bearing gravels inside the mine, washing it, sorting it, how to cut gemstone. You get to cut your own gemstones, a heat treatment. Cutting wise, we will teach you the traditional way of doing it and the modern latest technology. Even heat treatment, the traditional way of doing it and the latest modern technology. Everything. Not just we do not just finish at the gem level. We take you to a handmade jewelry making factory. There you will be able to experience how people make jewelry using gems. So you will learn A to Z. Everything you supposed to learn in when it's come to gem gem and jewelry in this tour.
Okay, it sounds absolutely fabulous. Do you can you share maybe a success story or a memorable experience from a previous tour?
Sure, success stories, there are many. I'll tell you one that applies to most of the people. When it's come to gem and jewelry buying, it's not a impulse decision, right? People do not buy. It's not something like buying something on Amazon. Simple impulse decision. People buy gems because gems and jewelries are like a symbol of luxury, symbol of status. So the high-end buyers only buy unique things, right? So they don't want just commodities, they want experiential buy. So once you go on this type of gem expeditions, you get the experience where you get a story where you will be able to share the unique experience you had in Sri Lanka. You will be able to share the experience, the story behind these sparkling gems. So it's not just a commodity that you sell, it's an experience you get to sell. You can show the photos and videos that you took. You will have thousands of photos and videos. Believe me, you will have thousands of photos and videos. You will have ample amount of photos and videos which you can publish on your Facebook, Instagram, or when you go on Gem Exhibition, you can show your own photos and videos. Those photos and videos itself speak about the authenticity of the product that you are selling, right? It shows that you have the access to the root level, so people know, you are getting the best deals because you have the access to the root level. So likewise, once someone took part in this type of gem expeditions, they can stand out from the rest because they can project their image as a true boutique, luxury boutique, bespoke jewelry maker, because you have the story, you have photos and videos to prove what you stand for. So most of the previous jewelry makers, gem traders, everyone told that they experience a significant growth in their sales. They've people, once they start sharing these stories, people like to spend more time in their places. They were able to easily convert the inquiries into a business after they seen these things, because everyone like to get from the root level. Everyone likes to see the story, hear the story, and feel that travel that in that memory line. So this is the like success story that most of the almost all the previous participants shared with me. Most of the people come to Sri Lanka just as clients to me, but when they go back, they go as friends. Like in I have a like he former student who came took part in one gem expedition. Again, he's coming in January to buy gems with me. I have another Chinese girl like who's in France. He's also coming to Sri Lanka, not just to buy gems. She likes to go and do meditation with me. Likewise, we are like friends. So that's the beauty of this gem expedition.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you make really good long friendships. Um,
Definitely.
so I just want to ask you finally, because one of the questions I do get, from people who are considering coming on the tour with me is what level of fitness they need. So I'm just wondering, sort of, what steps do you to actually take to ensure the safety and the comfort of our tour participants?
Yeah, it's like this. Um, we always work with the best. If I I will give you mm, s- one example. We are not sometimes not just work with the best in Sri Lanka, probably in the world. The lapidary that we are using is a lapidary endorsed by GRS Gem Lab. The chief cutting master has 33 years experience in gem cutting. So likewise, we are working with the best of the best in the industry. When it's come to safety, more or less all the activities are quite safe, like no any risk involved. But throughout the tour, I'll be there's a guide who will be there, and we are using standard all these transportation arrangements. We will stay in like tourist board approved hotels and all. So all the industry practices we adhere, and we follow all these industry practices. On top of that, the only bit of a risky thing that we do is the gem mining visit. I think that is the concern most of your client has. So when you go inside the gem mines, you do not just dive in. uh, there is a separate safety person to harness you, to help you to descend with all the ropes and everything. So even if you are not comfortable hanging to all these poles and all, don't worry, you will not fall into the pit. There's a safety person who will facilitate you, allow you to ascend and descend to these gem mines. And you, again, inside the gem mines, you are not alone. I will always be there behind you. I will always go with you even inside these tunnels and rafts, so you don't have to worry. Before start each activity, we do safety briefings, and we always has local people to facilitate. As I already told, if we can't use this mine because of the weather or rain, we always have as a plan B in place, and we have safety personnel. We do safety briefings, and we let our participants know the real situation. If they are not confident, of course they have the freedom not to take part in those activities.
Yeah.
So if you can walk about, let's say, 100 meters, maximum 100 meters in a uneven terrain, you can take part in even in this mining activity. Sometimes we have to do some river crossings when we are going to river mines. So those are the bit of challenging activities. Other than that, I think
Yeah.
everyone will find
I
it
think,
interesting.
yeah, I think people will realize that they have choices. They can choose to opt in or opt out of any activity. There's no pressure from us. There's going to be no pressure from us. So,
Yes,
you know, if they want to sort of spend time relaxing and doing something else, you know, staying at the hotel, relaxing for a morning or relaxing for an afternoon, you know, they're free to do that. Anyway,
yes,
listen,
of course.
Udara, we are running out of time. So I
Okay.
just want to say thank you so much for sharing all your valuable
Welcome.
insights and your knowledge about, you know, about Sri Lanka. So I hope that this interview has given, you know, will give people, you know, a glimpse into the incredible journey that lies ahead. I know I'm very, very excited. You know, so
Pleasure.
I can't, you know, personally speaking, you know, this tour offers a unique opportunity for people to learn, explore, and make, and as you pointed out, you know, make unforgettable memories. So, folks, I just want to say, don't miss out on this exceptional adventure. Join us and become part of this extraordinary gemological experience. And if you want some more information, I'm here. Get in touch, reserve your spot, and you know my email address, kim@gemstonedetective.com. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the tour. Thank you,
See you
Udara.
soon in Sri Lanka.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.